Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Tax Thursday, brought to you by Smart Counsel. I am your host, DDQ, here with Smart Counsel's tax resident attorney, Dionne Kellier.
Hi.
Happy Tax Thursday!
Thursday.
How's your week going so
It is
far?
going good, just another day in paradise.
That's great. That's what we want to hear,
Yes.
right? Smart Counsel is a boutique, minority-owned law firm. Our attorneys range in different kinds of practice areas. Make sure to visit our website at www.smart-counsel.com to learn more about our attorneys, practice areas. We got blogs, and we do have our Tax Thursdays up there. So make sure you visit that to keep in touch with everything. For the last few weeks, Dionne has been discussing the different kinds of employee compensation, with last week ending off on military and retiree compensation. Make sure to check out those previous episodes on our YouTube channel. Just type in Smart Counsel, we'll pop right up. We'll have all of those episodes there. But today we are diving even deeper into the topic of the retiree compensation and going kind of more into how all 50 states tax retirees. So, Dionne, where should I start? Are we going to start with just the first state?
Yeah, let's
How are
start
we
with
gonna
the
go?
first state. So let me just do a recap of retirees. Just so your tax liability
Yeah.
comes down to a few factors: your filing status. So if you're single, married filing jointly, married filing separately. If you're a widower, and up to 85% of your Social Security benefits may be taxable depending on your income. Distributions from a 401k or a traditional IRA are generally taxable, and that's because you put in pre-tax dollars into those accounts. But distributions from Roth IRAs are tax-free. It's because you put in after-tax dollars, but there's a limitation on the amount of income that you can make and contribute to a Roth IRA, because if not, everybody would do it. You are responsible for Social Security and Medicare taxes if you're self-employed. And the federal tax code and some state laws provide special benefits. I have some slides on retirees, but I think I think we should talk about each state, because every time I do this, I learn something, right? I really do learn something. And so this should be interesting. So let's start. The most tax-friendly state. So this is going to be according to Kiplinger, and kiplinger.com, and that's where I'm getting this information from. So if you ever want to check it out, I'm not stealing your information. I'm just, I'm crediting you.
We did our reference.
My reference point. Always cite my reference. So they rank Alabama as the most tax-friendly state for retirees, and that is because the state income tax range is 2% on up to $1,000 of taxable income for married joint filers and up to $500 for others, 5% on more than $6,000 of taxable income. The average combined state and local tax rules are 9.24%, and the median property tax rate is $406 per $100,000. That's not even. I kind of disagree, right, with Alabama being the most the most friendly on retirees, only because they have a personal income tax. I would think that a state that doesn't have personal income tax would be the most tax friendly, but who am I?
Right.
So let's see. The next state is Alaska, and they say that there is no state income tax, and they have high property taxes. So next.
Kind of trade one for
the other. Exactly. I still think, for me, Florida is still going to be the best. I'm not convinced yet, right? So as a retiree, I'm still staying in Florida.
Yeah.
Next state, Arizona, and it has a 2.55% state income tax, and their combined state and local tax is 8.4%. But I don't think and there's no estate or inheritance tax. So for everything, you're going to have to do like a trade-off, right? So yes, it's going to be, you may have no personal income tax, but then you have high property tax. Or you may have personal income tax and no property tax, which that's not going to happen, but that's just
right. No, for sure.
The next state is going to be Arkansas, and they have a 2% tax on net income for I don't even know if I agree with these, right? As far as as I say, I guess their property tax is low. And it's not even that low.
So are they going in order of like best, or is it more of like alphabetical order
No,
that
it's
they're
it's best, right? Arizona. Oh, well, maybe they're going. I thought it was. Well, they say it's tax friendly, so no, it's actually alphabetical. But they say that Alabama is the most tax friendly, and Arizona is going to be a tax friendly place. Arkansas, tax friendly, but not in the most tax friendly.
yeah,
And then California is tax friendly. I don't know about that.
tax friendly?
Let's see. And it doesn't, but California, it has personal income tax, but it doesn't tax Social Security income and most other forms of retirement. But most other forms of retirement income are fair game, so like a 401k or an IRA. Colorado, they are part of the most tax friendly, and because they have that flat tax rate of 4.55%, but taxpayers 55 and older get a generous retirement income exclusion from the state, and it gets better when they reach 65. So that's why when it comes to property taxes, seniors qualify for an exemption of up to 50% of their first $200,000 of property value. And then the one downside for retirees in Colorado is the sales tax. They say they are Rocky Mountain high, and they can exceed 11% in some parts of the state.
Yeah, for sure.
Next is Connecticut, and they're the least tax friendly, and they tax 3% on state income tax of up to $20,000 of taxable income for married filing jointly, and they tax 7% on any amount over $1 million. They have the third highest median property tax rate in the U.S., so wouldn't be there. Delaware.
Isn't that state like pretty expensive too?
That's what I've heard. You know, I've never been there. I've only driven
That's
through.
what I've heard too. Yeah, I've never even been over there, but that's what I hear is that it's an expensive state.
Yeah, and you know, I think that it's relative because like when I moved to Colorado, everybody was talking about how expensive the rent was, and me coming from Florida, I was like, oh my god, this is amazing.
Yeah, check it out now. It's super expensive now, the rent
Really?
for Colorado.
Okay.
Oh my gosh, yeah, with like the green rush and everything, like everyone just moving out here, it is so expensive for like a one bedroom, one bath.
Well, like here, a one bedroom is like 1,700 to 2,200. Is it there like that? Okay,
Yeah.
that's what I like.
Yeah,
And with the jobs that are still not paying anything near that range, so that's not
exactly
here nor there because, like, you know, yeah, that's pretty bad.
Yeah.
So let's see. Delaware is a tax-friendly state. There's no sales tax. There's no property tax. There's no death tax. So, and
Wow.
yeah, that's amazing. Next one, DC. They're tax-friendly as well. They exempt Social Security income, but most other forms of retirement income are taxable. Florida, they're tax friendly, but they're not one of the most tax friendly. There is no state income tax, but our property tax is pretty high. Our property tax is higher than California's. Yeah,
Really?
and the sales tax can go as high as 8.5%. So, yep, they're making it up. Yeah, okay. Georgia is also tax friendly, and they are more than California and Florida for property tax. I know, wow. But their sales tax is the statewide sales tax is 4%, but each jurisdiction can add up to 4.9%, so 8.9%. Hawaii is one of the most tax friendly, and their property tax is super low, but there's not much property to have. So from speaking with one of our colleagues that work with us, she says like basically property is within the family's names, right? So like there's not like an abundance of properties to buy. So
that makes
that
sense.
might be that might.
And it's expensive down there too, right? Like isn't their sales tax pretty high
it's
as well?
saying that their tax rate is the lowest in the country, and seniors get tax exemptions for property taxes, but their local sales tax is like 4.4%, but 4.44%. But the problem that I know for Hawaii is that if it's not on island, it has to be brought in. So you're going to have to pay those amounts, and it's not cheap. And funny enough, you cannot ship alcohol to Hawaii. Who knew? Found that out. Yep,
Really
found that out. I know.
interesting. I didn't
So you
know
have to
that.
buy it on island. So like when we got those those bottles or whatever, we couldn't send one because of that situation. And I was like, yeah, I have to
Oh
send it. I didn't even
wow.
know there was a rule until I looked at it. I was like, ooh, okay, that's problematic.
Yeah.
Let's see. Idaho is pretty tax friendly. Their property tax is low. It taxes all income except for Social Security and railroad retirement benefits. Illinois, they have a flat 4.95%, and they are one of the least tax friendly. Oh my God, their property tax is triple. Their property tax is higher than everybody's. Their property tax
No
is
way.
2,241 per 100,000 of assessed home value. Where I thought that California's was 742 and Florida's was like 800 and something. And so this is like, yeah, so they're pretty expensive. The state has the eighth highest average combined state and local tax rate of 8.81%. Uh,
Interesting.
Indiana is not tax friendly at all, and it says everything is fully taxable. Let's see. So it said it exempts Social Security benefits and offered a limited exemption for federal civil pensions, but IRAs, 401k plans, and private pensions are fully taxable. And yeah, so that's pretty. So don't go there. Iowa. Iowa is also one of the least tax friendly, and that their property tax rate is the 11th highest in the nation. It's still less than the other one that I said before. I think it was in
Illinois.
Indianapolis. That was it. Yeah, Indianapolis is still the highest. The median property tax rate in Iowa is the 11th in the nation, and the top state income tax rate will go down over a period of years starting in 2023, and it'll be a flat 3.9%. Kansas, at least tax friendly as well. Their property tax is pretty high. Distributions from private retirement plans, including IRAs and 401ks, and out of state public pensions are fully taxed, and they also tax Social Security benefits if your adjusted gross income is 75,000. The only thing that is exempt is military, federal government, and in-state public pensions. That's exempt from taxation. Kentucky is mixed. They exempt Social Security benefits from state income tax, and plus up to 31,000 per person on a wide variety of retirement income. Let's see, Louisiana. They are tax friendly. They have even though all income will get taxed, right? Okay, other than military, so almost all of the states do not tax military, federal government, and state and local pensions. They're exempt from taxation, but everything else is taxable. Let's see, Maine, not tax friendly at all. Their property tax rate is pretty high, and they exempt Social Security benefits from state income taxes, and then they add some additional exemptions. Maryland is mixed. They if you make more money there, they're going to tax you. Maryland's 23 counties and Baltimore City levy their own income taxes. Let's see who else. Massachusetts, they're not tax friendly at all. Property tax is pretty
Yes.
high. I wouldn't think so. Well, yeah, okay, yeah. Because that's where like
I wouldn't. Go
no,
ahead.
no. In my mind, I'm like, oh, okay, yeah. Maybe Massachusetts, yeah, because they have a lot of good things going on there.
Right.
Michigan, not tax friendly. They have a very high tax rate, but their sales tax is below average. Minnesota, not tax friendly. Very high. Their property tax is high, but it's still not the highest. And Social Security benefits are taxable to the same extent that they're taxable on your federal return. Mississippi is tax friendly. They have a hefty sales tax of 7%, but their property tax is pretty low. Missouri, it's mixed. They have their property tax is higher than Florida, but you can get exemptions on your pensions, public or private. Okay. Montana, mixed as well. Property tax pretty median, but still high. Nebraska is one of the least tax friendly. I'm looking for their Nebraska, right? Can you imagine?
Really?
Yep.
Is it the property tax?
Property tax is pretty high. It's still not the highest. And they tax Social Security benefits with Yeah, they tax Social
Oh.
Security benefits, and they're probably
It's pretty like cheap to live out there, right?
it might be right. We might think that it's cheaper because of where we
Mm-hmm.
are, but then if you live there and they're paying what they pay averagely in that state, then
That's true.
let's see.
That's true.
Nevada is one of the most tax friendly, property tax super low.
What?
Yep. Uh, it says the Silver State offers retirees a jackpot of tax savings. There's no state income tax. Uh, and you can collect your Social Security checks without worrying about a state tax bill, and their property tax is considerably low. New
Nice.
Hampshire, ooh, not tax friendly. And there's no state income tax, but there's a 5% tax on dividends and interest in excess of $2,400, which typically, if you are at the age of retirement and you're getting you're getting interest and dividends, pretty sure that it's going to be in excess of 2,400. There's no
Mm-hmm.
sales tax, and their property tax is the fourth highest in the nation, or yeah, in the
Wow.
U.S. New
That was which one again?
New
New
Hampshire.
Hampshire?
Never
New
been there,
Hampshire.
but
Me neither.
let's see. New Jersey is one of the least tax friendly. They have the state income tax. They have a very high property tax. I want to say that just looking at the numbers, they're going to be between either third or fifth in the nation. I'm trying to figure out who's going to be the first. I'm thinking it's New York because we already did California.
Oh yeah,
Uh,
for sure.
wait, New Jersey's okay. So I think New Jersey actually has the highest in the nation. And
Really? And that's what property
the
tax?
property tax. Yeah, 2,400, almost 2,500 per 100,000 of the assessed value. New Mexico is
Wow.
mixed. They Social Security benefits, they're all taxable. Social Security benefits, retirement accounts, and pensions are all taxable. Their sales tax is pretty broad, but their property tax is on the low side, but it's not that low, right? New York,
Mm-hmm.
least
Mm-hmm.
tax friendly. This is but you know what? Their property tax is less. Their property tax isn't even that high compared to like it's less than all of the other states where I'm like, oh my gosh, it's less than that. Yeah,
Really?
but they 4% tax for personal income tax, and let's see, their sales tax is high, and anything over $20,000 from a private retirement plan, including pensions, IRAs, 401ks, is fully taxed. And for ultra wealthy retirees, New York income tax rates are very steep. So right now they're 10.9%. That's pretty high. North Carolina, they have a flat 4.9%. Their property tax is pretty low. North Dakota, they're tax friendly. Property tax is high, but there's not their personal income tax is 1.1%, and they do not tax Social Security benefits, which is excellent.
Mm-hmm.
Ohio is not tax friendly at all. They yeah, it's not your Social Security benefits are exempted, but everything else is taxable.
Jeez.
Oklahoma, mixed. They tax so Oklahoma has the sixth highest combined state and local tax rates in the nation, but they don't tax your Social Security benefits. And if you're elderly, you may qualify for a rebate or a tax freeze. Oregon is mixed as well. They don't tax Social Security benefits, but they tax everything else. Uh, Pennsylvania is not tax friendly at all. They have personal income tax. They taxes. They say that the taxes are on the high end. Sales taxes are below average, but property taxes are pretty. They're probably in the top 10 to 15. Rhode Island is not tax friendly at all. That's interesting. Seniors pay on their Social Security benefits if their federal adjusted gross income is too high, and they have the 10th highest property tax in the nation. South Carolina, they're tax friendly. They have a low personal income tax, but they have all these tax breaks for retirees. South Dakota, they're okay. They don't impose an income tax, so your Social Security benefits are tax free, but your state property taxes on the high side, but it's probably in the top 30, so that's not bad. Tennessee, they're tax friendly.
Interesting. I actually read that state I actually read that South Dakota was the number one state to retire in.
Yeah, they're because I'm thinking it's because they don't impose an income tax, but their state property taxes are super
Oh,
high.
yeah.
But I guess if you don't own, right? But why would you want to be an older person renting, right? That they could change your rent every year.
Yeah,
So, would
so
I
true.
live in South Dakota though? I don't know. Never been.
I don't know. I've
Yeah,
never been
never
there.
been. I'm not sure, but I know if
What's
you do, if you
South
are
Dakota?
from South Dakota, right, they have that oil or that gas pipeline or whatever going through.
Oh,
So
yeah.
if you're
Mm-hmm.
lucky enough to be one of those lucky recipients, then yes, I would live there. Uh, let's see, Tennessee, pretty tax friendly, low property tax. They have a low overall tax burden, no personal income tax. Texas, there are no state income tax, but they are one of the least tax friendly. They have the seventh highest tax rate, property tax rate in the country. Their sales tax is high, and they tax all your income. Utah
Mm.
is they have a state income tax, but they tax Social Security benefits. They don't care what your number is.
Interesting.
Vermont is one of the least tax friendly. That's interesting. They have a very high tax rate, and they have they have a personal income tax rate. They have the fifth highest tax rate in the country, but their sales tax is on the low end. Okay. Um, Virginia, tax friendly. They just offer tax breaks, but they don't tax Social Security benefits, but they tax everything else. Washington
Mm-hmm.
State is mixed because they don't have a state income tax. Their property tax is not that high, um, but their sales tax are extremely high, almost 10%. That's interesting.
Wow.
West Virginia, they are mixed as well. They have a very low property tax rate. They don't have an income. They don't have an inheritance or estate tax, and their property taxes are pretty low. But what is it that 100% of your Social Security benefits are taxable statewide? That's why.
Wow.
Let's see, two
Wow.
more. Wisconsin, they're one of the least tax friendly. Property tax rates super high. Social Security benefits are exempt from state
Really?
taxes, but pensions and annuities, IRAs, 401ks, fully taxable. And they have the sixth highest property tax rate in the country. Wyoming is one of the most tax friendly because there's no state income tax. Retired, let's see, they sales tax are low, property taxes are pretty low. And
Nice.
yeah, that's the last state that's on this list. So I say all of that to say that, you know, some of as a retiree, your income, some of it may be taxable, some of it may not. But if I was retired, I'd move to a state that doesn't have personal income tax, and I would probably, in exchange for the no state income tax, I might take the property tax hit, but I would just live somewhere that's not super
Yeah.
expensive, right?
Right. Exactly.
Let's see. As I just go through these, they're all going to be dependent on what state you live in and what your tax status is. So yeah, that's pretty much. I feel like that's pretty much what's important for retirees. Um,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, that's pretty much what's important for retirees. And if your income falls below a certain amount, you do not have to file taxes. That certain amount, you don't have to file taxes at all. That certain amount is, if it's below the standard deduction, then you do not have to file taxes. And yeah, I think that's it for compensation. That was like a 4 week
Yeah.
thing.
It was like a whole month.
Yeah.
It definitely was. It was a lot of information.
Yes, it was. And I was gonna do a whole day on what happened in with the climate change and the tax bill, but I don't even think I'm gonna do a whole day. I just have like a few things to say about it. It is really
Yeah.
good for prescription drugs. They're trying to have a standard, so basically you don't go bankrupt paying for your drugs. So that is the biggest thing, and then the investments that they're going to make into protecting our climate. I mean, as far as like, there's nothing like the tax reform bill of 2017 that was applicable to 2018 tax year. I don't think that even though it was like an 800-page bill that was passed in the middle of the night, for the people, I don't even feel like we need to do a full show on it. because there's just like, and even one thing that I did find really, I want to say impressive, is how much they're focusing on like insulin drugs and kind of subsidizing the price. And so I don't know if that's a good or a bad thing, right? Is it that our society is so unhealthy that all these people have diabetes, type 1, type 2, and you're basically, insulin is going to be like a matter of course? Or is it because we have become empathetic to people that have to live with diabetes their entire life, and the cost of the drugs are astronomical? I mean, pricking your thing, we're luckily we're in a place where people don't necessarily have to prick their finger anymore, but they're on something else is going on, because they have to, they have that thing, that scanner thing that monitors your blood level or your blood sugar levels. But what if you can't afford that? Because it's not just it's everything, it's the technology. And for me personally, what is that? Almost like, is there radiation associated with that? I don't know.
Right. Yeah, that's interesting. I didn't know too much about that they were looking into. That's a part of the climate change?
That's a part of that bill that just passed. Yeah, like most of it, like I was just going through it, and it's literally, it's prescription drugs, and it's about protecting the climate and the environment, and putting research in there and putting dollars into there. There's not too many things that, like with the other tax reform, it's like, okay, if you are a pass-through entity, this is going to be your new tax rate. If you're a corporation, this is going to be your new tax rate. Oh, there is one thing that they want: the minimum corporate tax rate, I want to say it's 15%, which means that even businesses have deductions that they can do, which then gives them an effective tax rate. So that's why, percentage-wise, somebody like Apple, percentage-wise, will pay less than you and I, right, in taxes. Right. So they could end up with all their deductions and credits and things that they have, amortization, they can end up paying 5% in corporate taxes, but 5% is $5 billion, right?
Right, for them, right, so, exactly, where it's a different cost for
so
us.
They want to make it so that you cannot pay any less than 15% in taxes. So if you have losses, you got to carry it forward, whatever you have to do, but you can't pay less than 15%. And I mean, that passed, right? So now let's see what the law looks like. Let's see what it actually looks like, because there are things that they're still writing into law that happened with tax reform in 2017/18. So we'll see what happens.
Right. Yeah, I'm interested to see where that, I mean, we don't really see that like high in the news, right? So I'm interested to see what comes of that and how that's going to affect, taxpayers, us normal people.
Taxpayers,
normal people.
And what the effect for pharmaceutical companies are going to be, right? Because our pharmaceutical companies now going to, like, it's going to be very interesting, because the pharmaceutical lobby is pretty big. So,
yeah, for sure. Yeah. Is that being pushed more because of like where we're at in the world now with all these pandemics?
And like, my personal opinion, like, why are there vaccines for everything now that there wasn't vaccines for before? And why is everybody being pushed to take them? I don't want to feel like people have like nefarious intentions, right? Like, you just want to inject us with things. Right. But like, I don't know, right? I don't know. And I hope that there are good intentions behind everything. And that's my
question
everything, right? Like, you're not just slapping nothing in my arm.
Right, exactly. That's kind of where I've been at, like with all this like pharmaceutical push and stuff recently. I'm just like, where are we going with this? What's the end goal? What are we trying to accomplish as society, as a whole world? Everyone has their personal opinions on what's going on, but yeah, I just always question everything is kind of my rule.
Because I don't want like 20 years from now, right, when they blow the lid off of whatever, if something is going on, like, we are all test dummies, like, because I watch American Greed, I watch different things where, sometimes I don't know if it's good intentions or profits. Like, I don't know. And
Right.
so, like, I don't want to
Right.
be your tester on whether it's good intentions or profits. I don't want that. So, like, I don't know. I feel like you should always do your own research. Do not just go with what people say. And I'll also say this: Googling something can only get you to a certain point. I would always consult with someone that it is their business to do whatever it is that you're researching, because if you are listening to a random person, right, all they're doing is Googling and taking the information that's being Googled or that comes up on Google, and they're spitting it back out to you. I want information from the person that was able to analyze the raw data. Like, I want, if you're telling me that 10% of something happened, I want you to tell me that there were 100 people in the sample and 10 of them, this is what happened, and the sample came from XYZ. I don't want you to tell me what somebody said and that you saw, and then this person, like, what are their qualifications?
Right. Exactly. No, for sure. I always, like, if I'm Googling something, Google the author, what's their background, where are they coming from, what associations do they have in relation to this topic that I'm Googling. Like, you just have to really dig deep, and it does take time.
Yeah. Like, I always say, don't tell me what they told you. Show me what you read, and so I can read it myself.
Exactly. Yes. Well said. Very interesting. Yeah, we'll see. I mean, next week, I'm interested to see where we're going to go now that we have completed this whole 4-week compensation topic, which was very interesting.
I know, because there are a lot of things that I even learned that I didn't necessarily, but I don't do my own taxes for good reason, right? I always tell everybody, if I do my own taxes, I'm getting back $10 billion, right? So that's why I don't do it.
That's so funny.
So yeah, I don't know. We'll see where we go next week. Let's see what happens in the news, and then we'll go from there.
Yeah, and if you guys have suggestions, send them our way. DM us on Instagram, email us at attorney@smart-counsel.com. We're interested to know what you guys want to learn. Of course, we have so many episodes in the past that you can visit on either our Instagram page before we did move over to YouTube, or our YouTube page. So make sure you subscribe to our channel, like this video. Thanks again, Dionne, so much for your expertise, for teaching us something new once again. And thank you, everyone, for tuning in to another episode of Tax Thursday. We will be here next week, same time, same day. And until next time, we'll see you guys next time. Bye.